And the links, of course, will be in the description for all the socials. Instagram for @thespot2talk, Twitter @the_spot podcast, YouTube @thespot2talk, and SoundCloud the spot to talk, as well as TikTok the spot to talk. Every time I said the spot to talk, it is number 2, not the word 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, again, we are back here for another episode of The Spot. Of course, if you catch this episode, then you've definitely catched up on the BMF discussions and obviously everything else going forward. I'm one of your hosts, Yeezy Yon. We got here.
You got over here, this is Nat Mighty Young, y'all.
And today
Back,
is...
sorry,
Sorry?
sorry about that.
No, don't apologize. Do your thing.
Just trying to let everybody know, we're back at it with another one, another episode. We're just trying to give y'all the best content we can, give y'all that direct, live and direct.
Of course, we got the Power Hour up here, as we've announced beforehand. And then, obviously, leading up forward, there will be different points of views, like different shows and stuff. It won't be just Power. We'll explore. It is a big universe, first off. I'll just say that now. So there's a lot of area, you could say, to explore in Power. But yeah, we'll divulge and expand our portfolio, you could say, right? Kind of divulge into different shows and different movies and stuff.
Just expanding our palette a little bit, showing people different tastes, different sources of entertainment, different visuals of entertainment.
Exactly. And so, of course, we're going to start with Power Season 1. All around great season. 8 episodes, so it is shorter compared to the other seasons. I believe it's 8 episodes in this season, then 2 through 5 are 10 episodes, and 6 is 15 episodes.
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, that's a nice little pace. I like how they add, it's a little away from season 1, but I like how they add 15 episodes in season 6. Gives you a little bit more of a, whoa, you know what I mean? Like okay, there's more to unravel. It's too much to just jam up into one, 10 episodes, right? So
yeah, and
also,
nice. Also, I heard Stars was this close to not giving those 5 episodes. Like, I think they wanted 7 seasons, but instead of 7 seasons, I guess Stars wanted them to end it in season 6, and they gave them 5 extra episodes, which they had to beg for those 5 extra episodes. So I don't know. Stars is just weird.
I will say, if you know, we'll cover that down the road. But those last 5 episodes seem pivotal, in my opinion, in terms of the show. So good on Stars for granting the 5 episodes for Power, much needed. But anywho, yes, season 1. We got Ghost, James St. Patrick. Essentially, he runs a nightclub, legit man, or trying to go legit. Tasha, wife, got twins, Tariq and Raina. Is his daughter born?
Yeah.
I probably haven't watched seen her. Yasmin. So
Yasmin was born. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. I blank on Yasmin for a second. Anywho, yeah, Yasmin's there. We got Tommy, of course, the homie, the best friend of Ghosts from childhood, back in the day, neighborhood growing up type shit.
Partner.
Oh, definitely partner. Yeah, in terms
50-50.
of running drug game. Yep, running drug game for Lobos. We got basically it's Tommy who's not trying to go legit, even though he's invested in the nightclub, but he's trying to still run drugs. Ghost is trying to get out of the game at this point. We don't see it, but he's trying to make legit moves. He keeps hinting to Tommy like, "Yo, we can go legit, man. Like, we got a nightclub. We got this and that." Because they started out, with a laundromat, right? Or
Yeah.
I think they had parking lots too, but they had parking lots, laundromats, and just a buildup of stuff that kind of made their way up to Truth.
Yeah.
The nightclub that James owned.
Yeah. So pretty much like Ghost and Tommy. Yeah, I believe like you said, it was with the Truth nightclub. They went 50-50, and then they had the laundry. They were also laundering money under the wash and fold.
Exactly. And again, you slowly divulge into it more as the seasons go on, but yeah, you just start to see like initial ideas, like James is having fun running a nightclub. He knows the game though, he knows the drug game like the back of his hand. This guy's been in the game for a long time.
especially like Ghost. He is clearly focusing on running like the legit side, the business side of the business, like legitimately. And then Tommy, clearly he's more focused on the more violent, more violent side, the street side of the drug operation. Which I mean, you got to have somebody that takes charge of both sides, which is something that's needed. Even though some people don't want to risk going the street route, because that way, if they go the street route, it's a lot of risks. But if you do it a more strategic way that Ghost is trying to do, is he doesn't, no violence, less trouble. He tries to deal with things with with less steps as possible.
No, that's totally true. And honestly, when it comes to Tommy, he's the aggressor. Sometimes stories need that, shows, movies, whatever. They need that protagonist aggressor, and it's like I want to say yin and yang, but Ghost and Tommy are kind of like that. You know what I mean? Where the one's passive, one's violent. And I'm not
Yeah,
saying Ghost isn't violent. He's passive. I'm not saying he's just passive, but I'm saying like the more side of it is passive for James.
yeah, yeah. He grew up having a heart for some reason. I mean, not for he was just like
For
he
some
was
reason.
he's not. I guess what he went through as a kid, which I guess they're gonna explain later, which we will see. I guess he's more emphatic. He's more sympathy. He has more sympathy towards others.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
no, I know that.
compared to Tommy and compared to most people in the show, he likes to care for others. He looks out for people, especially people that he cares about. Like I said, earlier, he tries to deal with things like, less aggressively, especially less aggressively than Tommy, who likes to deal with things. He likes to deal with things just as long as it gets the
Old
job done.
school.
Yeah, it could be whether it's old school or whether it's new school. Whatever is necessary, Tommy's gonna do it.
And we have also Angela Valdez, who's a AUSA prosecutor. Basically, as Ghost is the drug guy that allegedly Angela is looking for. And keep in mind, Angela is Ghost's high school crush slash sweetheart, and they're still sleeping with each other, seeing each other behind Tasha's back and other people's
Uh,
back as well.
yeah. I mean, they didn't start doing that till later, like the next few episodes. But
It's
yeah,
still in season one, though, overall.
yeah. But it didn't start off as that though. At first, they started to reconnect like slowly, like it was slow at first, and
It built
then
up halfway,
it
about
built
halfway
up.
through the season, but
Yeah,
before half, is it halfway? Just before halfway? Yeah, it's halfway. Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't too long, but it built up though. It was building up for a few episodes. I know that.
Regardless, though, he's cheating. He's committing, what is it, infidelity, basically, where you cheat on your
Yeah,
spouse. Yeah, he's doing that behind Tasha's back, um, and it's just it's kind of weird. Ghost is comfortable with it. He's comfortable with it because it's that's his original love, like who he was destined to be with. We
yeah.
don't get enough, and we don't get enough. Like, I mean, just through their words and actions, we don't get enough backstory. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. Wow, why are they so in love? You know what I mean? It was just back in the day. It was they must have been super close. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of get that initial curiosity. I know I did. Like there's no way this man's cheating on his wife. With kids, lives in a nice penthouse, running a club. Why you gotta mess with her, man? And again, he doesn't know that she's trying to find out, the who's running drugs through New York, and with the Connect and Lobos, who is the head, not head of the cartel, but a cartel leader s guy.
He is the cartel chief leader.
That's
Yeah.
what. Yeah, he's a captain, I guess you could say, something like that. He controls like part of the cartel in his way. But anywho, Lobos, and they're trying to convict him, but at the same time, Angela, who doesn't know that she's trying to convict a person like Ghost, but Ghost doesn't know that she's in that field of prosecution. He just knows that she's smart and this and that, and it's just ridiculous right now. Like season one is a little like it starts off slow, like you
Yeah,
said.
and also, it also gets worse, his mind also gets more messed up as, Somebody's slowly trying to tear up his business. One by one, somebody's like killing off his primeras. Getting in his stash houses. Like stealing his merchandise, stealing his product. Somebody is operating behind his back. Which
During his
is,
business.
yeah, somebody's messing up his business. You know, what led to him killing Miguel, Miguel Suarez in episode one. Was that in the basement of truth? It was him and Tommy, and then they also took out Maria Suarez, which was Miguel's fiance, which Ghost, very very very, he cares a lot for people, so he let the lady go.
That's
But
where the heart comes in.
yep, that's where the heart comes in. But he asking Miguel, who set this up, who you working for. Miguel wouldn't spill the beans, so Ghost shot him right there in truth, which is a dope, crazy introduction to his character. Shirt off with tank top. The white tank top was raw too. I was like, damn, this nigga's not playing.
No, he's
Especially,
for real.
yeah, especially you could tell like his business savvy, but at the same time, if he has to get his hands dirty, he'll get his hands dirty, which is just like, whoa, that's a crazy trait to have, especially for a main character in the show. Yeah.
I will say, yeah. When I first saw Power, I mean, next to Sopranos or Breaking Bad, I never felt well, I guess, and Better Call Saul, but I never felt a real need to quickly need to know what's going to happen right away in the next episode, this and that. Like, I have to know. And Power does a great job on leaving cliffhangers, like great cliffhangers. I'm talking, holy shit, I need to know what's going to happen next episode. And to do that in the first season, let alone like the first 2 or 3 episodes, that's amazing. Because normally, shows, people don't like to watch. Like, oh, the first episode's boring. We have to get into the show. Don't worry. Like, no, this show just reels you in right away. Like you said, with the whole tank top and just kills him right there in truth. You're like, okay, this is what this is about. This is what this man, he does not give a fuck. Wasn't it opening night of
That was
his nightclub?
opening night of truth. Opening night of truth.
It was opening night.
Yeah, whew, he was when his mind was in the game, his mind was in the game. And also, the man responsible for having his mind in the game, him and Tommy, Kanan Stark, played by 50 Cent. You know,
50.
Also the executive producer of the show, you know, you could say this is loosely based off of his life. But
Say that he abused his power and put himself in the show. He's like,
literally,
I'm gonna get paid as one of the actors and executive producer.
the man he's really smart at putting things together. Man, shout out to 50. Oof. But yeah, man, Kanan, he's in prison, for 10 years. Right now, as we know, right now he was, he caught a lengthy prison sentence, and
He's
he
holding it
is,
down.
yeah, he's holding it down. He's holding it down from prison. He's receiving calls from Ghost. They're just checking in on him whenever they can. And then he was also, before he went inside, him and his lady at the time, conceived a son named Sean, who we know grows up to be Ghost's driver, slash protege, as we can say. It's, calls Ghost Unc. So he looks at
Watch
him
out
as
for
an equal.
Sean. Watch out for Sean, everyone. He's a sneaky little duck, in my opinion.
Oof, yeah,
But
man.
I think it was episode 5 of the first season, but like, or the episode maybe 4, I could be wrong. But like, he sees Ghost and Angela kissing as Sean's gonna give Angela a ride home because he's a driver and he requests her a ride. And Sean's obviously just gonna have to keep his mouth shut. But since then, you kind of he's just like, I am disgusted. Not disgusted with you, you know what I mean? He doesn't say it, but he's just like, he has that, you know what I mean, in his head. And he just sees how Ghost acts now, like meeting up with Angela.
Let's not forget. See, I don't know if I believe it was episode one. 101 of Power, where Tasha was in the back of the the car, while Sean was driving her home, from the opening night of Truth.
I think
And
we
I
know.
believe, yeah, I believe she was playing with herself, on
She got
purpose.
exotic.
I was like, whoa, phew, Tasha's
What
okay.
if Sean
Tasha,
just went back there? What if he just went back there and just? Do you think Tasha would have let him hit?
probably,
And what happens? Okay, get this. What happens if Ghost just opens the door and sees them?
probably would have killed Sean right then and there. But knowing that he's Kane's son and that's his nephew, he probably wouldn't kill him. But it's just like he probably wouldn't be happy. He wouldn't be too happy with that.
But if you're Ghost in that moment and you open the door and you see your wife getting fucked by your best friends there, you say uncle's, son, type
Your
thing.
nephew.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how are you gonna feel?
Oh man, I probably would be very, very. I would feel away. I would feel away. It would be interesting. It would be a
Bro,
documentary on
and you
how
got
I
the
would feel
strap
about
on
that.
you. And you got the strap on you too.
Yeah,
You're
that
just
that's
like,
that's
oh,
yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, that stuff happens, and then also while all that's going on, Tommy starts a relationship with one of the bottle girls at Truth. Name's Holly. It's a girl that hits it off with Tommy right away. Right away.
nice little
You know,
redhead.
yeah, nice little redhead, just like his mother, redhead just like his mom. I don't know he has a thing with redheads, which is strange, but it's just very, they develop an interesting relationship, and also with Holly is she has some truths of her own, she's not just a simple white girl. She got some spunk to her, and
She know a
she's
thing or two.
yeah, she know a thing or two, and also she can be, she can be a thief at times as well. I believe she got caught stealing Tasha's earrings in season one.
Yeah. And then, oh man, the nice little round earrings.
Yeah, and I believe Tommy tried to cover for her.
Even though he knew
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He wasn't
he
really
didn't
happy.
buy her those. He didn't buy her those.
He was not too happy about that.
Yeah, man, that's it was one of those things where the show really teased us, like, what's gonna happen to Holly? Like, why is Tommy constantly like with her? Like, why are they? You know what I mean? It's just like, come on, like, it's one of
He,
those things where you'd expect her to be gone by then. Like, she played a side character role in a way.
yeah, and even Ghost was confused. He was like, "Why are you fucking the merchandise?"
That's what
Which
I'm
is
saying.
Yeah, you don't ever mess, especially when it's somebody that's at their place of business, where anybody could see them in public, anybody could put two and two together. It's not a good idea especially even though Ghost has some issues of his own. I mean, he does have a point about not messing with the merchandise. You're not supposed to mess with what's that. You don't shit where you sleep.
Basically, yeah. Don't sleep with your coworkers, or don't not even coworkers. Don't sleep with your employees.
Yep,
you know,
facts.
don't do that. I'm pretty sure you can get sued in some sense. Regardless, that's another topic for some reason. But yeah, no. Tommy and Holly, that kind of rhymed. Holly, Tommy, Holly. Um, that's happening. But while this is all kind of going down, there's also this background character in a way, Simon Stern. He plays the old stereotypical real, like in our real world, like those billionaires that own everything and you know went to a fancy school, grew up rich, trust fund kid, you know what I mean? But they're an old man, but they talk, they know how to act. And but yeah, when it comes to Simon Stern, he's basically trying to buy truth, you know, own it. He wants to be the typical billionaire that's kind of operating in the shadows, but still owns a lot of stuff and is getting rich off people. The typical corporate CEO of America getting rich off the works of others. And basically, yeah, he just wants to. What is he? He wants to own truth outright, right? Or
Yeah,
is it just
he wanted he
he doesn't
wanted
want
to
a
leech. He
partner?
wanted he wanted to leech off of James. He wanted to put his face, but he wanted to be on top of that. He wanted to own him. Because at the time, I believe James, I don't even think they didn't own the building. The truth. I mean, they didn't own the building that Truth was inside of. Correct?
I believe because I remember Simon he had a lease, if I'm correct, or something, right?
Yeah,
No.
for the building. For the building. That was for the building.
Yeah.
I think I
Remember it was like
remember
a contract, yeah.
something. I forgot. We gotta look that shit up. But yeah, I remember Simon pretty much, like you said. Simon was just trying to get advantage of James. James didn't want that to happen. He wanted to own his shit, and we started a rift between him and Simon.
But yeah, essentially when it comes to Simon Stern, yeah, he his character does a great role of again being that typical billionaire who has so much power and wealth and has connections in the highest places. So his character definitely keep peeping him out. He's very interesting.
Yeah,
Like
no, no,
he
no,
relates to
definitely.
he relates to the real world a lot. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. People are getting killed, and as you were saying earlier, in Ghost's group is Primeras, as they say,
Yeah,
trying to
they're
figure it
getting
out.
getting stabbed up by the lady in the pink sneakers,
Yeah, the pink
which
sneakers
they
are the
call it.
key thing. Those are iconic in this. So yeah, basically she's wearing pink sneakers, and you're just like wondering how does she get away with this? What is she doing? That kind of thing. It's like what's her end game? Who is she? And Power does a great job of keeping us away from the truth. No pun
Yeah,
intended. But they
yeah.
do that great job of
I
keeping us away.
Yeah, I believe she heard a few of their premieres like we talked about. One of them was Liliana. I believe she got sliced up in the face, and then she ended up in the hospital. And then after that, I believe she killed Annabelle. She killed Annabelle. I remember one of the premieres. And then in the club, I also believe she seriously injured Vibora Ruiz. Correct? I
Oh
thought
yeah,
that
was he
that
right
boy
when
was
he was like
dead.
stripped? Yeah, exactly. I thought he was, but he made it. Again, Power does this great job and dynamic of like making you think. Here's the thing, like again, you're gonna pick up on it. If you don't see a body, they're alive.
They're alive.
Just keep that in mind, everyone. If you don't see the body, they're alive. I didn't pick up on that fact until you watched the show, but in other shows, they kind of apply that logic sometimes. It's interesting. I can't think of any top examples off the top of my head, but you get my drift. Like it can apply to some shows. Like if you don't see a body, boom, and that's a
Yeah.
good theme about Power.
Yeah, and also, while all this is going on, Ghost is trying to navigate the war between the RSKs, which is led by, spearheaded by Rolla, one of the guys in the neighborhood that James, kind of taught. He gave him some lessons while he was growing up. Apparently, from what we used to hear, I believe Rolla was his protege. I mean, I don't know how long they were in connection for growing up, but we do know that James taught him. He did mentor him for some time, and he is at wars with Ruiz, which is not good for business. And they also both of them are suspects. They're suspects at the from the attacks that have been going on. So that's also not helping what's going on in the streets because they're both of suspects of hitting the network, and they don't like each other as well. Yeah, that's also starting some confusion.
This whole season's just a mess. Like not a mess, but in a good way. Like all the deaths, all the people dying. It's just so much to catch up on all the characters. Do you think season one introduces like a lot of characters fast?
Yeah, not a lot. I don't know if a good amount. There's a good amount. Few characters that I really would love to see go past a few seasons, but their time was short.
No. When it comes to certain characters, you kind of just like wish you kind of just wish that they didn't die so early. Sometimes you wish they made it past a certain season. You know what I mean? Like certain parts of this, at least because like, with Rolla, for example, I feel like he had potential, You know what I mean? As an actor, or not an actor, but as a character on the show.
Oh, 100%. Roller, yeah. It was a shame that, it was Kanan and Tommy that put into Ghost's head that Roller was behind these attacks. So, yeah, it was only right for them to tell Ghost to do it, which sucked,
I,
man.
I gotta say, okay? I guess throughout season one, what do you think of like? It's hard to explain. I was gonna say like, where's your favorite like location that's being filmed? Like, do you like it when it's like, for example, like Truth, Ghost's apartment, Tommy's apartment, um, just somewhere like what's the best shot of season one, or even like the office where like the prosecutors are meeting? You know what I mean? Like, what's the best? I don't know, like how to explain it. What gives the best atmosphere for like shots, like camera angles and stuff, from your point of view? Like, I don't know.
I believe a lot of the dope shots in season one came from Truth because Ghost was really like business savvy, and also a lot of the dope shots were when he was doing business with Lobos. You know,
Oh yeah,
a lot of the stare offs with Lobos.
the
With
phone
him and
interactions
Tommy,
were always pleasant.
the phone interactions. His shots with Tasha at the house. Also I believe his shots with. I mean, not so much with Simon Stern, but a lot of he shot a lot of nice shots with Tommy, like outside of Truth, like outside, like throughout season one. Him and Tommy had some dope ones together, I would have to say.
This show does a great job at showing a lot of like nice. I want to say stages, like not like stages, but like stage design and shows, like cinematography and all that stuff. Like going into designing a set for a show, they did a great job with this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Give you that like upper class drug dealer vibe in New York, but like keeping it realistic. Like Truth isn't on like Manhattan. You know what I mean? Isn't in the best part of New York, but it's there. You know what I mean? There's like brick walls around it and everything, so it keeps it still looking old school. You know what I mean? They make it look legit.
yeah,
It's kind of
no,
nice.
definitely. Yeah, and also the shots with Angela and Ghost, they really focused on that too.
You
Like
get freaky
focusing on.
deaky in a lot of scenes.
Oh yeah, season one had too many sex scenes. Oh my goodness. Oh,
They're
that
letting us
was.
know.
Oh, just first watching that, bro, I was just like, wow. I was like scared. I was like, this is not possible. This is
No wonder it's
crazy.
not on television.
Yeah, it makes sense that stars would pick this show up. Makes a lot of sense. I cannot see the show doing that on Fox, you know, TNT, none of those channels, none of those ABC, none of those. It's not
No, it's
happening.
definitely never in a lifetime. No, what are they gonna do? Like just blur out the scene? Like what? No, they can't. It, I guess it would take away from power. I don't know, but there's also the matter of Nomar Cielo. He's a CI pervert,
Yep.
uh,
Yep.
undercover basically for Angela Valdez. Ghost's side chick at this point. Um,
Fucking that man's fucking Ruiz's daughter, 15, 14-year-old daughter, correct?
He's a fucking pedophile, if anything. He's a rapist, pedophile, let's call it everything. But anywho, he's basically a CI, and he found out. Well, he's wearing a wire, and like he's through the door. It's like episode 7 or 8, I think. But he's listening into the door, and then one of the other guys, I believe one of Ruiz's men's like, Nomar's like, "Who is that guy?" And then the guy was just like, "That's our distro or connect guy." And then the people on the wire that the feds were like, "Oh shit!" But Nomar didn't see who it is, so now they're trying to find out who, based on the fact that Nomar was able to at least be on the other side of a door that I believe Tommy was in, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Tommy was in.
That was
So a
crazy.
little bit into it, they think whoever was on the other side of the door was Ghost, and they
Ghosts.
think
Yep.
it's Tommy essentially. So it's just very funny because obviously Ghost is James, not Tommy. So it's just, I guess you can make the narrative that Ghost could be Tommy because Casper the White Ghost, but that's just racist to say. or
Yeah,
offensive.
yeah, that's crazy. And also, like, Tommy's more on the street side, so them assuming Tommy's ghost, doesn't really surprise any of us, considering how reckless Tommy is and how smart James is. It's, it could confuse people's minds.
Casper the Ghost.
Yes, sir.
It would have fit him interestingly. Like, okay, I guess the name Tommy does fit. Like, can you imagine if his name was George? George
Oh, hell
Egan?
no. I can't see that now. Tommy's already stuck in my head. I guess I can't see that no more. That's crazy.
George Egan. George just sounds not menacing. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
can't.
no, it doesn't. That's crazy.
As fucked up as that sounds, I think Curious George. That's why.
Yeah, George can be it can be used for so many other people that like Joseph Sikora as in Tommy Egan. It just doesn't come to mind. I don't
No,
know.
you can't. Yeah.
I
No.
already
What if
got
his
him
name was
pinned in.
Joseph? What if they used their real names, so like Omari Hartwick as Omari Hartwick, and in the show they call him Joseph Sikora. He's like, "Come on, Joe," or "Come on, Joseph," and then he's calling out for Ghost. He'd be like, "Omari," you know, like some
You-
real names could fit, but I don't think it just Joseph Sikora. Oh my God, so Joseph would not work for his character. Like Tommy does work. It's
yeah,
aggressive. It's rough.
yeah. Like we see them as Joseph Sikora and Omari Hardwick as their real, as their real like life person, but as TV show, no, definitely don't see them as that. That's correct. I can't.
They'd be like the Hartwicks, Tasha Hartwick.
Yeah, I just can't see that. I just can't see them being themselves on television. Like I can't picture myself just calling them that repeatedly, just as I'm watching the show, referring them to that as their character. I can't. I just can't.
Maybe someone will make a AI generated video or something about that. But no, yeah, overall, uh, again, the casting like has been great. The storytelling is great, and then it's just like there's no every character feels important. Every character is important. Actually, they play a role in the story to keep it going.
Yeah, that's the one
Like
thing
like
about Power. Every episode,
if you get
every character that does anything in the show is it's gonna mean something.
anyone, if they wave to James, they're gonna be relevant in like 2 seasons.
Like not
Like
everyone, but like literally, like I just noticed how like any character that does anything like not detrimental, but something that's like small, like it'll come back like later.
the doorman at his penthouse just opens the door for him. Have a good day, sir. And then like that man's just relevant next season because he's the head something, head captain, whatever.
Yeah,
Anything can happen, bro. Anything can happen.
anything, man. It's crazy.
Angela's a bitch though. She's wrecking a family.
Yeah, yeah, and like halfway through, like not even halfway through, but like before they even start even like getting together, as they're reconnecting, he does tell Angela he's married, he has kids, and then the fact that she still ends up, you know, she still ends up, he still ends up cheating with Angela. It's just not good. It's just not like it's disappointing. It's like wow, he had a good thing going with Tasha, just with his family. Even though in his mind he wasn't happy, he wanted to leave the game. Tasha didn't want him to leave the game. She looked at him as the biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City. So it just it just wasn't their interests just weren't aligning in Ghost's in James's head anymore.
Yeah, and Tasha just feels him slipping every time because Angela's back. It's like a girl coming back in a picture, and Ghost is He's just not about it. You know what I mean? He's ready for Angela now. You know, he's trying to move on, change up.
Yeah, no, facts, facts. That's he's just ready to just change, change it. This part of his life he's trying to end. He's trying to start a new part of his life, which doesn't require any killings, any dealings. He wants to just live out the rest of his life in peace, on a yacht with the girl of his dreams. That's it. And
Yeah,
his kid.
exactly. He's trying to live out his life, his dreams, what he worked for. He said, "This is what I'm gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it." And now I see my girl, Angela. I'm gonna get her now.
It sucks that she had to ruin a family man's life. Considering they knew each other since high school, they had a love. They loved each other. They loved each other all along. Clearly, which is rare. It's not a love. It was a true love. Not a love that you see every day. But a lot of people thought they were just with each other for thrills, but they really loved each other. Especially, in season one, we could see that they just like they picked up where they left off.
Honestly, because what was it? About 20 years? Not 20 years. Roughly, right?
Like 17 years, 18 years, 17, something like that.
Okay, I could be wrong. Let's say near 2 decades, nearly 2 decades, um, since they've seen
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, nearly 2 decades. Yep.
Yeah, and so that happened, and obviously, them. I mean, that is a long time, though, if you think about it, to be away from your love and to be thinking. Like, it's weird if they were thinking about each other the whole time. Maybe we'll get more of that in Origins, or more of a discovery on that. But with Power, like Angela and Ghost have been away from each other. Ghost started a whole family, raised a whole family, and Angela's has been doing her. Do we know if she's been thinking about Ghost all the time?
Yeah. About each other, which they've told each other that they have, but who really knows if they've
I've
really
said
thought
that to
about each
women
other?
all the time. I've been thinking about you. It makes them feel better. You know what I mean? It's said all the time. It's not. I mean, you never know if it's actually true or not. You mean to tell me that you never thought to look me up or try to find me after almost 2 decades?
Yeah, no, definitely. There's no way they were in each other's minds for that long. I doubt that. That's crazy how they were making us believe that they thought about each other all this time. How come they didn't just look for each other?
Exactly. They have the resources. She's a freaking prosecutor, like an AUSA. I'm sure she has the resources to track this man down.
Especially after once they got older.
Exactly. And I want to pivot to Sean real quick, man. He's he's hearing, like I said, he's hearing everything, he's seeing everything. Like when it comes to Sean, the only thing protecting him, if I'm correct, is the fact that he's Kanan's son. If he was anyone else, it wouldn't matter. He'd be dead if they didn't like him enough or if he knew too much.
Yeah, as of right now, he's playing his role. James taught him a lot as he grew up with Kanan being behind bars. So he was really, he was influenced the right way, as we could say, in ways.
Doesn't he go to college or he plays basketball?
I believe he did play basketball. Yeah, I believe he was a college boy because I remember Lakeisha said that.
Yeah.
Then also, as we also, as we anticipate, somebody is probably trying to end Ghost's life. Since anybody that knows his real identity knows that that he's at the top of the game and that a lot of people want to take his spot. So the person who sent the pink sneakers lady, she went after Ghost. I believe at the season finale, was it? And then
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, episode 8.
yeah, and then after that, Ghost was standing there, and then the shots were fired, but he didn't get hit. Holly got hit instead. I believe she was working at. She was in Ghost. She was talking to Ghost, and then after that, she got shot.
It was poor timing, the worst timing. It's one of those things where as a viewer you're rooting for Ghost. You hate Holly because she's trying to ruin it for him on purpose. But at the same time, when she gets shot, you're just like, I don't know whether to feel bad or not. But yeah, I'm glad she didn't say anything about Ghost to anyone.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. She got shot on company time, on the
Yeah.
clock.
Hey, exactly. Hey, she got. I'm sure she got some compensation.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been begging for. I would have been. I would have been demanding compensation. I wouldn't have left that place without compensation. I wouldn't have left the hospital without being compensated.
No, definitely. I mean, at the same time, it's like I got basically she saved James's life.
Without knowing it.
I don't know. You got a guy who's trying to run a nightclub at the same time trying to connect with his love again, run a family, link up with his best friend Tommy to keep selling drugs for a crazy cartel boss, Lobos, while also figuring out who's killing off his group, while also communicating with his, mentor and father figure, if anything, uh, Kanan in prison. I believe prison or jail. It's prison because it's a 10-year thing. But this is so much to juggle for Ghost. And it's like his job is to fix things. You know what I mean? He's a fixer or he's a solver. But he's just trying to solve his own shit. But other people need him to solve their problems.
Yeah. Even though he won't tell anyone the full truth or he wouldn't tell everyone everything, he tries to prevent telling people certain things to protect them or to just make sure he solves the problem on his own, which doesn't always end well, which isn't the best way to solve things, I believe. I know he's doing it I know he's doing it for the best, but it doesn't always need those type of solutions, if you know what I mean.
When it Ghost just he doesn't tell people. I feel like Ghost doesn't tell people certain things because it's for their benefit.
Facts.
Like
Facts.
it's to benefit them because if they know something, they might react a different way. But if they don't know, they'll go along with his plan exactly.
That's true. They'll try to think for themselves. They'll try to, do something that'll inadvertently like mess everything up.
Exactly. And go along with Ghost's script. Basically, just don't know what's supposed to be, but just do it. Just go with it.
Yeah, just a whole lot of that. I wonder who influenced them to do that, which is the man that's been pulling the strings all along. We could assume, Kanan. He had the pink sneakers, which is the end of the season. We see her visit Kanan in jail, you know, and it's discussed and it's announced, that he sent her to shoot everyone, to mess with Ghost's business, you know, to mess with to mess with Louise, to shoot Annabelle, it was to seek revenge, for something.
And you're trying to figure out why. Why, oh, why did Kanan do all this?
Yeah, at this point, we're like, wow, this guy Kanan is a punk, bro. He's doing this to his homie. Because as of right now, that's just how it ended. He's just laughing, like, ha, Ghost, thinking Ghost is dead. He's about to get out. The what was it, prosecutional misconduct on their behalf. They messed up
Yep.
his sentencing, so he was able to get out a year early or something like that. So yeah, it's he ended season one, you know, pulling some big moves, and then also setting Ghost up to kill Rolla, which in my mind was the smartest, not the smartest, but it was probably his. To me, it was his highlight of the season. Making
Wait, say
Ghost.
it again.
To me, it was his highlight of the season because he made Ghost kill Rolla like that. It had Ghost fucked up.
That manipulation.
Yes, and Tommy wasn't helping.
Oh, definitely not. He just did. He has that Kanan mindset. Doing. I mean, not. saying that he was deliberate with it, but Tommy just says, do what you got to do. Do what needs to be done to protect the business.
Yep, that's their bottom line. It's protecting the business no matter what.
No, and once they, I mean, it's just a matter of time. See what happens to Kanan. I mean, at this point, like we'll discuss it on another Power Hour segment. But yeah, with Kanan, he's ruthless so far. He's killing off who I guess Ghost again calls him like a mentor, someone who's taught him the game, and he's fucking up with Ghost. We don't know why. Did he fuck his bitch back in the day?
Yeah, man. As of right now, Kanan is just he's looking like the big bad wolf right now. He's supposed to be the man that's holding it together inside, that's looking out for his guys. But as of right now, it's oof, he's got some animosity built up inside his heart.
No, prostitute. I was about to say the wrong way. Prosecute. Is it prosecute? Oh man, I'm trying to say it.
Prosecu-
Prosecutorial. Is that wrong?
Prosecutorial misconduct.
Prosecutorial. Oh my god, such a hard word to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that occurred, and yeah, with that for 50, I mean, not 50, Kanan. Huh? I mean, at least he'll be with his son upon release. It's gonna
Yeah.
be interesting. The dynamic of Kanan and Sean.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Kanan adjusts, outside, prison, especially with what's going on. How he's gonna plot on Ghost, how he's gonna plot on taking back what's his. Especially with his son on his side, by his side. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Man, it's crazy to think though. If we're to go by Power like 2014 timeline, if you go back, that's 10 years, 2004 to 2014. That's a lot of stuff you missed in between. Yeah, first black president.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
I guess you'd already know that from prison, but you feel me? Like a lot of technology advancing, all that
Yeah,
shit.
from 10 years of being inside, a lot of can change, especially that, and also one thing that I believe I missed, or we both missed, was uh, Angela Ci.
No more.
Yeah, Nomar. I believe he was meeting up Angela at the end of the season as well. And then after that, I believe it was the man. Did they find out that Nomar was a CI?
Like who's the CI in the whole operation overall? Throughout the whole first season.
In season one.
I
That's why Tommy killed him, right? Or no, it was because they found out he was fucking Luis's daughter. Ruiz's
Yeah,
daughter.
remember? Yeah, he sent him over.
Yeah,
He said, "Hey, how would you feel about?"
yeah. And then Ruiz, yeah, you're right. Ruiz sent him. Ruiz sent Tommy to do that.
No problem at all. And he said he would do it with ease. No problem at all.
Yeah, Tommy did it with the quickness. He stabbed him up. Once he stabbed him up, he was hiding. He didn't get a chance to leave, but he was able to hide. He was able to get away from law enforcement. And as he hears AUSA Angela Valdez at the scene.
That's where it's like, "Hey, yo."
Yep, which is interesting. It's like, wow, this guy Tommy. Well, he knows something that James doesn't know, which is Angela is a federal
She's a
government.
fed.
She's a Fed. Yep, she's a federal prosecutor for the government. Whew. Tommy was shocked. He was shocked.
I mean, how would you feel? And especially if Ghost is like fucking, you know, like if Ghost is like sleeping with a prosecutor, risking giving all that information up.
Oof, man, the fact that he was. Oh, just imagine if Tommy never went to Nomar. If he never got sent to do that mission, they would have never knew Angela was with the feds.
It would have taken longer, but I think they would have eventually figured it out. And I don't want to. That's not me trying to divulge more about the seasons, but I really feel like they would have figured it out eventually.
Possibly.
You
Yeah.
can't walk out of a prosecutor's office too many times without being spotted. You know what I mean?
No, that's definitely facts. That's definitely facts. I
Like, hey
do agree.
yo, isn't that the bitch Ghost is fucking? Like, I can imagine, I can imagine some random person just saying that. You know what I mean? Like, hey yo, Tommy, I saw this bitch walk out of the prosecutor office, suit and all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was like, wow, man. It's like, whoa, these guys are doing it all. They're messing with everyone on all levels, man. It's no holds barred.
No, the whole thing is like, and in that scene when Nomar dies too, I actually have it pulled up in front of me. You can see it, like, because when Angela says her name, um, this is AUSA Angela Valdez, my CI has been stabbed. Tommy's face just kind of lits up right away. Like two things were just figured out. Nomar was a CI, and Angela's a prosecutor, and he's contemplating about killing her. But there's Greg who just runs in there, and he's like, "Ah, oh, fuck, never mind." So damn, it's crazy to think Tommy was ready to take down Angela right then and there.
Yeah, no, he definitely. I know he had thoughts of killing her right then and there, like you said. Oh man, that would have been detrimental to James. He would have been crushed. Tommy, he doesn't have he has no, he's really compulsive. He's really, really just doesn't think things through. So that would have been a scary sight. That would have been a scary sight. It was, thank God Greg came in.
No, Greg came in because the thing is, you don't want to deal with two fed bodies at the same time. It's just crazy to think that Nomar thought that Tommy was Ghost because Angela's like, "Who did this to you?" He's like, "Ghost," and it's just crazy to think. I am surprised that Angela, like knowing him since high school, hasn't known that James was called Ghost.
Yeah, I mean, that must show that select few knew. Like, not too many people knew.
Exactly. The name Ghost, you know what I mean? What is it for exactly? Just because he moves, he's out in and out like a ghost type of thing.
Something about you don't see him leave or you don't see him. I forgot.
He's a
You
ghost, or his moves. You don't see his moves coming, something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
don't see him leaving. You don't see him going. You
Something
don't see
like
him
that.
coming.
Yeah,
You don't see him coming. You don't see him leaving.
exactly. No, yeah, and it's that kind of shit where it's like, again, the creators are pretty creative when it comes to that stuff. It's pretty nice to see like them kind of having fun with characters, giving everyone a personality. That
Def,
makes sense.
yeah, everybody's in their own world.
Giving everyone a personality. Even Holly Weaver, like I said, she's a side character to me. But what happened? They gave her personality and character, made her more of an integral part to the protagonist, which is Tommy.
Yep. And then they start feeling themselves. Start doing things out of character or in their nature, which is in their character.
Uh, it is just kind of sad when you see her get shot, like I said earlier. But at the same time, I mean, if you see her get shot, she's about to leak information. Do you really not root for her to die? And it's kind of just fucked.
Yeah.
But no, Ghost and Kanan, that's a question if they're going to be feuding or not.
Yeah. I mean, so far, all we know is Pink Sneakers try to come, try to go for the kill, but
You
they,
got bodies on deck, bro. She's crazy.
yeah, she needs to get some new shoes, just
If
like Kanan
anything,
said.
yeah, that's the thing too. Get some new shoes too, because they
Yeah,
they know her by the pink shoes.
yeah, just
And
like
the thing
Kanan
is, she
said.
didn't know that though. She didn't know that they knew. You know.
Yeah, just like Kanan said, girl, you need to get you some new shoes. That's what she needs to do. First thing she needs to do is get her some new shoes.
And the way he said it and she understood is kind of funny because like she knows that he knows like, hey, if Kanan knows that you get rid of those shoes, it means someone spotted you in pink shoes. You know,
Definitely.
but I guess more to say. And again, the season does end with Kanan out and released, and he's just out and about and ready to cause business. You know what I mean? Do his shit.
Yep, he's ready to cause mischief.
Oh, right. And so that does conclude the Power Hour. Of course, I mean, I don't got anything else to add unless you wanted to speculate on more information.
Nah, nothing else to add for today.
Yeah, this is just an intro in a way for this, the Power Hour, because I mean, this is season one, and I'll be honest, when it comes to season one, there's a lot of characters, but then it gets juicier, in season two, and then three, and then four, and so forth. It gets more and more intricate and detailed, and you'll hear our different points of view and maybe how we would have rewritten things or so forth and so on. And yeah, basically, I mean, if we don't have anything else to add, that does conclude the show. Again, sorry, you got anything to add? My bad.
Nope, nope.
All right. Well, thank you for attending the Power Hour. Of course, more to come. You take care and have a great night, everybody.
Yep,
Peace.
yep. Y'all have a good one. Y'all have a blessed night. We got more episodes coming for y'all. I appreciate you guys for listening. We'll be back at it. Peace.
Yeah.